It's the best of the K102 Wake Up Crew.
Very special guest on the line and one of our favorite people in the whole wide world, Martina McBride. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're great, Martina.
Awesome.
Good.
So,
I feel like we haven't talked to you in a while, and we got a lot of catching up to do.
I know.
yeah, the tour is over. You're home now and taking some time to yourself. And then, well, boom, okay, a new album's going to be coming out. Seriously, do you almost sometimes wish you could go on the road? What's harder, being at home? Do you work harder at home or do you work harder on the road?
Oh, it's different. I love having both. I love being on the road, but then I always love to come home, and then it's exciting to get back on the road. So we love it all.
Now, when is the new album coming out?
March.
March, okay.
Already in March,
Yeah, which will be here before. I know it sounds like a long time, but it'll be here before you know it.
And then another quick question. I know since you were on a very, very long tour, does that ever get monotonous to you?
No, this tour didn't. I had so much fun on this tour. That's why we just kind of kept adding dates and extending it because, I don't know, it was just a blast. Every town that we played was, we walked out on stage and it was just awesome. The fans were awesome and so excited, and being outside was a lot of fun this summer. We did a lot of outside shows and at the amphitheaters, and we hadn't done that in a while. So, no, it just did not get old. We had some great opening acts and got to get to know some new people and hang out, and it was awesome.
We're talking with Martina McBride with the K102 Wake Up Crew, Donna Muss and Fish. A blonde, a brunette, a redhead. Sounds like the start of a good joke, but it's really just the actual cover on Redbook magazine.
I didn't think of it that way.
Which is kind of cool. You're on there with Taylor Swift and Reba McEntire, and that's kind of a cool setup there that you have. And what an experience for Taylor Swift to be hanging out with you two.
It was great. I mean, we had a lot of fun on that shoot, and Taylor is very, very sweet, and Reba, of course, is one of my idols. So it was awesome.
Now, Martina, you've known, first of all, we should mention also that you're promoting the Every Woman Counts campaign, encouraging women to get out and vote. But you had once mentioned that, you've known Reba for so many years, but you used to get really tongue-tied around her until just recently almost.
Well, at that shoot, I was probably the most comfortable that I've been with her. And I still get a little starstruck with her. And it's I don't know what it is. I mean, because it's not her. She's so nice and so sweet and down to earth, and she always goes out of her way to make me feel really welcome. But I just love her so much, and I admire her, and I never know what to say. I always kind of feel like a poser,
Poser.
Like you're grooming her.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, she's the real deal, and then there's me over here, So I don't know. It's just one of those things. But I do get that way around her, definitely.
Are you taking the kids trick-or-treating tomorrow? What are you doing for Halloween?
We're going trick-or-treating. I've got a 3-year-old who's going to be Supergirl.
Awesome.
Cute.
She was going to be a kitty cat mermaid for the longest time, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to pull that off. But she decided on Supergirl, and then my 10-year-old is going to be an 80s rocker.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then my 13-year-old, she's getting together with some friends, and I've heard rumor of an Eskimo costume, which I probably need to approve.
Right.
Before.
Yeah.
There's 2 different ways you could go with the whole Eskimo thing.
Well, and it's amazing, too, with little girls now and the costumes that they have. It's like, you're not leaving the house with that on. I know you're 3, but you're not leaving with that on.
You are right. It's really hard to find a costume that's not, sexy, even for a little kid, so it's just crazy.
And are you able to go door to door? I mean, don't you get recognized? How do you do that?
Not usually, we definitely take them, and sometimes I'm recognized, but it's all fun,
And well, her neighbors are like Faith and Tim,
and
Keith and Nicole.
Plus, when you get, you just got that ghost sheet over your head,
Exactly.
with the eyeballs cut out. No one knows who it is.
No, I just tell them, I say, no, I'm not Martina McBride. This is my Halloween costume.
Yeah, exactly. Can I ask, what kind of candy do you hand out?
Well, actually, we don't. We don't hand out candy, not because I don't want to, but because we take the kids out trick or treating, and there's nobody left at our house. But if I did hand out candy, it would be probably probably candy bars.
Yeah,
like full size.
Like what? Full size. Oh, yeah.
All right. Just
boy, for a second there, I thought she was going to go toothbrushes.
And so did I.
The interview would be over, Martina.
Pennies.
Martina McBride is on the show with the K102 Wake Up Crew, and we know that you love getting into these holidays and stuff like that. And obviously, with the season coming up here, Christmas has been a big thing for you. You've done so many tours and stuff like that. But this is cool because you team up with a duet on Elvis Presley's and a new album that's coming out, and you're actually doing some cool stuff at Graceland as well.
Yeah, I am. I sang Blue Christmas with Elvis on this new duet CD that he has that he has out, and I've get to flip the switch to turn the Christmas lights on at Graceland on November 20th, which
Awesome.
I think it's the 20th, maybe it's the 21st. Anyway, I've never been to Graceland, so I'm excited.
You're kidding me.
Oh.
Oh, that's a great way to experience it by having the honor of doing that, flipping the lights, and then getting the whole tour, you know?
I know, and I get some kind of private tour, which I'm really excited about. Maybe I'll get to see, I don't know, private things.
Well, it's in the title.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to Martina McBride, where you're going to be debuting a brand new single called Ride from her upcoming CD, which is going to be out in March. Now, I understand you wrote a handful of songs for the project, but is it true only one of them made it to the record?
Yeah, that's true. The rest of them weren't very good, so no.
Oh.
No, it's hard. Just because you write a song doesn't mean it's going to fit the record or be great. So we wrote, I don't know, I guess maybe I wrote four or five different times, and basically not necessarily just for my album, but just because I'm getting into writing more. And I wrote with some different people, and wrote with the Warren Brothers again, which is the song that's on the record. It's called Sunny Side Up. But then also wrote with Nathan Chapman and Liz Rose and just some different people. So yeah, I'm getting into the writing thing a little bit more. It's fun.
Martina McBride on the phone with us, and you're getting your very own star on the Music City Hall of Fame in Nashville, along with Trace Adkins, Randy Travis, and speaking of Elvis, that's coming up November 9th. That's exciting.
It is exciting, yeah.
Is there a special ceremony? What are the plans for that day? Do you know?
Yeah, there is. There's I think a press conference where we answer some questions, and then we go out and they unveil the star and take pictures, and I'm sure there'll be some fans there, and it's going to be a good day.
Maybe before that, we got some awards coming as well. Well, actually, right around that time with the CMAs coming up, you're up for Female Vocalist of the Year again. Congratulations on that nomination. I got to ask you about with the CMAs, and it's been a while. It seems like kind of a drought that we've had where we haven't had a female artist up for Entertainer of the Year. Why is that? I mean, you guys are having massive concert tours. You're putting on, great shows. Album sales are way up there. How is it that we're not able to get a woman actually in as Entertainer of the Year or even a nomination?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Really good question. And not that the guys that are in there aren't deserving. They certainly are. But it would be nice to see. I think of the handful of women that have won Entertainer of the Year, which are Reba and Barbara Mandrell.
Shania.
Did
what was
Shania
that?
win?
Shania.
Yeah.
She won Entertainer of the Year. And, so it'd be nice to have it. It's been a while. You're right.
Yeah, it absolutely has been. Hey, we understand that Jody Messina is expecting a baby, and she had mentioned that she was going to be asking you for some advice on taking the family out on the road. Have you heard from her yet?
I haven't. I just read that yesterday. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, we all are. How do you manage with do you take the family on the road every time you go out?
Yeah, it gets harder it's easy when they're babies. Actually, it's very easy. It's harder when they get in school because then all of a sudden you have to, plan around their school, their school day and their schedule and all that. So that gets really tough. And but until they're 5 or 6, it's a piece of cake. It's easy. They're very portable when they're that age. So.
Right.
Martina, before we let you go, you read a lot of stuff online. Some of it's true, some of it may not be. So if you could debunk these for us, that would be great. First of all, was it true? First concert you ever went to was Ozzy Osbourne?
That's true.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. And then also, you were considered a nerd when you were younger because you wore glasses and liked to read. True or false?
That's true. That's true.
Would you consider yourself a nerd today?
Nerdish sometimes, yeah.
We all are. Yeah. Everybody is.
We're all nerds just pretending we're cool.
That's right.
The K102 Wake Up Crew.